Hey guys, so Blaine and I are just on a walk right now. We thought it'd be nice just to get a little bit of movement in for our day. We're walking by the rowing team. It's kind of cool to see them up close. Their boats are really slender. I didn't know how little they were. There they are. They're gonna go do some rowing, I guess. So anyway, Blaine and I both worked today, and then we were done by about noon. We both worked kind of early today, and then we decided to take a nap after work. So we just, little raindrop. So we just slept for a couple hours, and then we got up, and I was kind of a little cranky when I woke up because I don't know why, just after the nap. But I think I've bounced back since then. So we're just going on a walk, and it's a little rainy right now. But it's really beautiful out. It's a nice day. Today was kind of the first day that it actually felt cool, really kind of cool. I think it was in the 40s this morning when I woke up, and we slept with the windows open, so it was kind of actually a little chilly when I got up, but it was nice. Kind of the start of fall. And after our walk, we're just gonna go get some food. I think we're gonna get a burrito maybe, and then we're gonna go home and watch a movie while we eat our dinner, and probably have kind of an early bedtime because we have another early morning tomorrow. Well, at least Blaine does. So I don't know what the movie is. It's a surprise for me, but that's just what we're up to today. Hey guys, good morning. So it's Friday morning, and I'm actually in the studio right now, so I thought I'd make a little video. I haven't been in the studio for a little bit because we're in between sessions right now for classes, so I don't have any classes that I'm teaching right at the moment, but they will start up in a couple weeks. But I was really missing throwing on the wheel, so I wanted to come in. I came in early this morning just to have a little bit of studio time. Here's some pieces, that I already made today. Can you see them? There they are. So just some cups that I made, and I'm gonna make another cup right now while I make this video. So I'm gonna try to get an angle where you can see. Maybe I should do a wide angle. Okay, here's my wide angle view. I can only do it with the front camera, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna prop it up, and hopefully that's pretty good for you to see me. So I'm just gonna make something, probably just make another cup right now while I chat a little bit. So here we go. So I've been doing pottery for many years at this point. I did a little bit in school, just growing up, I think, as most people do. But I really got into it when I took a class in college, and I always knew I wanted to study art, but I was doing a lot of painting, I was doing a lot of photography, film photography, which are things that I also still love. But once I took a ceramics class, it was kind of over, honestly, just because of how much I I just love it. I really wanted to continue to pursue it. And I love that it's challenging. I mean, it really takes a lot of practice to become proficient on the wheel. So I love a challenge. And I just wanted to keep doing it. And it's so good for me to touch clay. I think it's just really healing, honestly. I think it's just good for you, good for the mind, for the body. Yeah, and so once I got done with school, I wanted to keep making pottery, of course, but once I was out of college, I didn't really have a studio of my own or anything. And I was doing a little bit of teaching while I was in school as well. I was a teaching assistant for a class called Art and Ecology, which I really loved, which is basically, it was the intersection between art and ecology and just learning about the different ways that those two areas of study overlap. So I was able to be a teaching assistant for that for 3 years, my last 3 years in undergrad, because I took the class my first semester of school, and then the teacher asked me if I wanted to be the teaching assistant, which I was really honored to do because it's not very common that an undergraduate student is able to be a teaching assistant. Usually it's just graduate students that opportunity is available. So I was super grateful for the chance to do that. Yeah, and I really enjoyed teaching. I loved talking with students about their ideas and their projects and helping them, figure out how to develop their ideas and do, critical thinking. And I wanted to keep teaching. So after school, I was looking for teaching jobs, especially related to pottery, because I wanted to keep my hands in the mud, if you will. So I found a job at a park where I was able to, but that was just a seasonal position. So I only worked there for the summer, but that was a really awesome experience. I really loved it. And it was kind of my first time, actually just teaching pottery classes. And I just, was able to kind of dive right in. And I was in a really supportive space to do that. So I'm very grateful for that. And then I had another teaching job. I was actually a kiln technician. So that means I was the person who was loading and unloading the kilns and doing that type of work, studio work, reclaiming clay, which basically means recycling clay and just doing different studio tasks, and a little bit of teaching as well at that job, which was pretty fun too. And I just love learning more about, the flow of a studio and about kilns and all of that. So that was a good job for me, but that was also pretty short-lived. That place actually ended up shutting down. And now I'm at my current teaching job at an art center, which is where I'm able to be working right now. So a big perk of being a teacher is having access to the studio space and being able to make art myself and work on my skills and still be in the community space where I get to talk with people about their ideas, help develop ideas, and just share space, share experiences, create a community where people can learn and have friendships, have relationships, talk about ideas, just all of that. So I really love being in this type of space. I feel very honored to have the chance to be a teacher. And of course it allows me to keep making my own work, which, this is just something I love. this is, this is my therapy, basically. This is really what, it brings me a lot of joy, it challenges me, but it feels super, super grounding as well. And whenever I'm feeling off, there are kind of a couple things that I always know will make me feel more myself and more grounded. One of those things is this, it's pottery, and the other thing is swimming. So if I'm feeling not great, if I'm able to do one of those things, it will almost always help me feel a little bit better. So I'm grateful that I've been able to identify those things in my life that do help me come back into myself, if you will. So I'm making a form right now. I think I want it to be kind of a tall cup. I sell my work sometimes, and there's actually an art fair in a couple months that I was selected to be a part of, which I'm excited about. So I'm gonna start making some work for that, because if you know about ceramics, about pottery, you know it's kind of a long process, so it's good to be kind of thinking ahead with your timelines. So even though the sale's in a couple of months, I want to start preparing now and start making now to be ready for that sale coming up. So yeah, I do sell my stuff a bit, but I mean, the reason I make it is because I love it, I don't make a ton of money selling my work or anything, but I do love, when people see a cup that I've made or something that I've made and they are excited about it, and just knowing that they're gonna take it home and use it and have it be a part of their life or their routines makes me super happy. So that brings me just a ton of joy in my life. So I also just give a lot away to my friends and my family and my whole home. My husband and I, basically all of our dishware at home is stuff that I've made or that they've made. They've made a couple things as well. I've brought them to the studio a couple times, or that friends have made, just kind of having a collection of handmade pieces is very fun. One thing that you have to think about when you're making pottery is how much it's going to shrink, because everything shrinks when it goes through the kiln, when it goes through the firing. So even though this might look a little bit big for a cup or a mug at this point, it's going to shrink a significant amount. So you have to account for that when you're throwing or when you're making things. So I always try to make it, bigger than I think it will need to be, and I'm always continuously shocked by how much things actually do shrink down once they go through the firing. So yeah, here's my cup that I made. I think I'm gonna keep working for a little longer in the studio today, and then probably go home, and I think we're gonna go see a movie this afternoon. I'm not sure what movie we're gonna see, but I don't have any work today. Blaine's working this morning, but we'll be done around noon. So we'll have the rest of the day to hang out and spend some time together, which I'm excited for, we love going to the movies, so I'm always excited to do that. And I also kind of need, I'm looking for a new pair of shoes or boots as we enter into the winter season. And so maybe if we go to the movies, it'll be by the mall. Maybe we'll go to the mall and see if I can find a pair of winter boots as we get into the colder months. Today I woke up and it was about 40 something degrees and it felt really chilly. So yeah, we're kind of moving into the fall weather right now. Excited for that. But yeah, I'll, see you later. Hey, so I just finished up throwing today, and I just wanted to show you what I made during my throwing session today. So today I made just several cups, these cups, and that one, and I think for a lot of them I'll probably add handles after I trim them. I also made this bowl, which got kind of wonky, but then I tried to kind of lean into that by adding some little design around the rim on it. I also made these squiggly cups, as I call them, so kind of have that shape to them, which are really nice because they fit really nicely in your hand, because your fingers kind of fit in those little spots there. So I made some of those squiggly cups. I also made a couple of decently sized bowls, and then I made a couple of smaller bowls, this one and this one, and I wanted to make those into matcha bowls, where you use them to mix up your matcha powder, and then I added the little spout there, so you can then pour it out for your matcha making. I was also thinking they could be used for salad dressing as well, but I think I'll add handles on the end so that they'll be nice to pour from after I trim them. So this is everything I did at the studio today. And now it's time to clean up. Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you some of my latest pieces that I got out of the kiln today, and just wanted to do a little show and tell. Okay, so the first piece is this big vase that I made. I threw this on the wheel, and then I added some texture. I used white slip, and then I did a green glaze on top. So vase. I also made this little mug. It has some stamps of some lambs on it, so I thought that was pretty cute. This is another vase I made. It has some kind of floral designs on it, and it's got a really shiny kind of blue-green glaze on it. Next, I have this cup, which I'm super excited about. I love how the glazes turned out on this one. I just think it was really some beautiful colors that were achieved with this glaze combination. So this might be my favorite from this batch, just because of the glaze color of it. Okay, up next I have this little cup. I wanted to make some cups that were just kind of good water cups just to have in the cabinet. So that's a cup I did. Here's another cup, a little bit bigger, kind of a different glaze color on that one. Here is a mug that I made. I used some underglaze pencils on this one to do some designs, and it's got this little handle on it, so pretty pleased with that. And then last but not least is another one that I did using black underglaze pencil, and I did some sketching on that. So another mug. I think these are pretty good size, so pretty pleased with that. So here is everything that I got back today.